Welcome back to In Depth with Academia. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Richard Price, CEO of academia.edu, and as always, your host for today. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in, and I hope you're feeling curious because we're about to explore a fascinating piece of research that might just change how you see the world of marketing, or even how you see, 3 seconds. So, let's dive right into it. Today we're unpacking a paper by Hadrian Stone, the author of the 23 Laws of Marketing, Master Them or Die. The core idea here is surprisingly simple, but also, wow, kind of profound. The paper digs into what Hadrian calls Law 22, master the first 3 seconds. I mean, what on earth could possibly happen in such a tiny window of time? And why is it that this fleeting moment can make or break a campaign? It turns out the world we live in is just absolutely bursting with noise. So much information, so many ads, emails, messages, just an avalanche, honestly. In all that chaos, our attention has become this kind of rare, precious currency. And according to Stone, research shows we decide within only 3 seconds, maybe even less, whether to keep paying attention or, just scroll on by. The paper argues this isn't just like a clever, stylistic thing. No, it's more like Darwinian combat. It's survival. Marketing messages are, in a sense, fighting to live or die in those opening moments. Super dramatic, right? But I mean, isn't it true? The things you remember usually just, wham, grabbed you right away. But don't take my word for it. I should emphasize, as always, my role here is just to lay out what the research says. I'm not endorsing this. Just sharing it for you to reflect on, okay? So let's get into the evidence. Stone leans on neuroscience, talking about something called the orienting response. I love this. Basically, it's what happens in your brain when you encounter something new or unexpected. It's like your mind just screams, hey, pay attention. If a message or ad doesn't trigger that response right away, it slips into the junk pile in your mind and poof, vanishes. So in these first 3 seconds, you've basically got to smash through the wall of indifference. Sorry, that sounded a bit aggressive, but you know what I mean. One really cool example Stone highlights is the ALS Ice Bucket challenge. You remember that, right? All those viral videos, people dumping ice water on themselves for a good cause, of course. The genius, according to Stone, wasn't in long-winded explanations, but in the instant shock and novelty of the first 3 seconds. You'd see someone about to be drenched in ice water, and your brain just couldn't look away. It disrupted your expectations, and the result was astronomical. Over $115 million raised in just a couple of months. I mean, wow, shows the power of that initial jolt. So what can you, as a listener, take away from all this? Whether you're into marketing or just communicating ideas, or heck, just trying to get someone's attention at a party, the first thing you say or do matters. According to Stone, marketers should focus on 3 things right off the bat. First, disrupt patterns. Start with something that just makes people stop and pay attention. Second, strike identity. Make it immediately relevant to who the audience is or what they care about, their fears or desires. Third, you need what Stone calls emotional voltage, which I love, by the way. That means make people curious, shocked, or even a little anxious, enough that they just have to keep listening. But let's be clear, none of this exists in a vacuum. The paper's not saying there's some magic trick that works for everyone. What grabs your attention might be boring to me, and vice versa, so use your judgment. And again, not saying this is the ultimate truth. Academic research is always evolving. If someone tells you it's a guarantee, run for the hills, or at least maybe walk briskly. This whole 3-second thing kind of reminds me. I once tried to make instant oatmeal and I thought, maybe if I just microwave it for 3 seconds, it'll be ready. Spoiler, it was not. But hey, the first 3 seconds did make me very attentive to how hungry I still was. Alright, back to the main point. Stone's work is saying, look, if you want your message to survive in our crazy competitive marketplace, you've got to master the beginning, not later. Not after you explain yourself right away. You're not fighting for attention. You're fighting against extinction. That's a quote from the paper, by the way. Let it sink in. So next time you create something, maybe a social post, a pitch, a conversation opener, ask yourself, would I keep watching, Keep reading, keep listening after 3 seconds. That little test can be more powerful than you might expect. I hope you'll sit with these insights and decide what's meaningful or actionable in your world, not just take it as gospel. And that's really the beauty of academic work, right? We get new ideas to chew on, not final answers. Thanks for joining me today on In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, reminding you, don't be afraid to ask questions and don't be too quick to believe there's only one way to win attention. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll see you next time.